JR Go, and today we're going to change the oil in my 17 Grom with MOTUL 300V. So 300V is obviously completely unnecessary, and it's also 10W40, and people say, like, I think Honda says in the manual that 10W30 is the recommendation, but it's also the best oil ever made according to all motorcycle enthusiasts, so we're gonna put it in it. First things first, what you're gonna need: 1 quart of oil. It holds like 0.9 liters, so 1 quart should get it exactly. An oil pan to catch all the waste oil, and a 17mm wrench to pull the oil drain bolt. We're not going to take the side cover off this today because it's not that complicated and you don't need to pull the side cover every time. If you're going to pull the side cover, just buy the Kidco cover and put an oil filter in this thing. First things first, you're going to need a 17mm wrench or a 17mm ratchet. We're going to use a deep 17 and a 3/8 drive ratchet. So we've got our oil drain pan under the engine, right in the middle. Here's the bolt that we're talking about. It's right in the middle of the engine. You can see it is not that far one over here, which is the cam chain tensioner. So now let's take our 17 and pull this off. Take the ratchet out because we popped it loose. And we'll back this off real fast. I'm not changing this to a magnetic drain plug, and I'm not changing the crush washer either because it looks pretty clean. So we're just gonna wipe everything off, get this nasty old oil out. You might wanna have some shop towels on hand just to wipe off any oil that gets on your sockets, hands, and the drain plug. I like to wipe my drain plugs off until they look factory clean, nice and shiny. This crush washer looks great. As you can see, it has been crushed, but it's not really deformed. So we'll clean that off one more time before reassembling, and I'm gonna clean the drain plug very well also. All right, that's it. That bolt is wiped off. The crush washer is wiped off. My 17mm socket is nice and clean. Clean the inside of your sockets too. Keeps you from getting oil on everything else you work on. And that is how long it took to drain. I'm also gonna stand the bike upright for just a moment to make sure we get every bit of oil out of it. And there's a little bit more coming out. We'll tilt it back and forth, give it a few more seconds. This is probably one of the fastest oil changes you'll ever have to do. And we're gonna rock it back and forth just a little bit to make sure I got every bit of the old oil out, because the oil capacity is really just slightly less than 1 quart, and I'd like to dump the entire quart into it. All right, the draining is complete. I like to wipe off the bottom of the engine just to make sure there's no contaminants anywhere around that. Just kind of take your finger and rub the rag around the drain hole there, and we will reinstall the plug. Be sure you don't cross thread that. It's nice and easy to get in there. We'll take our ratchet, throw it on, and snug it up. Doesn't need to be extremely tight. You don't need to put your weight on that or anything. Just snug it up and it's ready to be refilled. Awesome. That was a definite fail right there. Remember, your waste oil can be disposed of at most auto parts stores, AutoZone, O'Reilly's, even your mom and pop shops typically have a place to throw your waste oil. I'm also gonna wipe off any excess that kind of spilled on the exhaust, because this one does still have a factory exhaust on it, because I like that stealth mode for when I'm bombing sidewalks in neighborhoods. Now to refill the oil, pull the dipstick out. This one was on there pretty tight. Make sure you wipe it off. You want it to be nice and clean. Don't leave any dirt or waste oil on there. I'm gonna wipe off the area around it too to make sure no dirt falls in. We'll keep the dipstick clean on our shop towel, and it's time to dump in that MOTUL 300V that this bike does not need it anyway. Unscrew the cap on our MOTUL, pull out the sealing ring inside. And you probably don't need a funnel to do this if you pour carefully, but instead of pouring carefully, we're just gonna use a funnel that's been recently cleaned and dump in that sweet, sweet MOTUL. If you do use a funnel, you can leave the bottle upside down and let it drain into the engine, and it'll probably hold the bottle up so you don't have to sit here and hold it. well, you get every last bit of oil out. Good to the last drop. That might be Folgers, but it's also very expensive racing oils. Wipe our dipstick off one more time, put our funnel somewhere it can drip down, which is that shop towel right there. And let's reinstall the dipstick. With the bike sitting level, you'll want to reinstall the dipstick. You don't need to tighten it extremely tight or anything, just run it down until it stops. And check to make sure you have a little bit of oil on the end. And I definitely have too much oil on the end, so I will extract a little bit of that. Okay, so I've removed the excess oil. We screwed in the dipstick, set the bike back over. Let's start it up. She sure sounds smooth now. All that's left to do is go ride your Grom. I hope this video helped you change the oil on your Grom. And if it did, please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, and I will talk to you guys next time. Also, this video is not sponsored by MOTUL. You might think it is because all of my bikes just got MOTUL 300V. I had to buy it all. It sucks, but I did.